You're managing your money exactly like poor people do, and that's why 78% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, while the 1% keep getting richer. Today, I'm exposing the 7 habits keeping you broke and how to flip them starting right now. Let me ask you something. Do you budget by figuring out your expenses first, then seeing what's left over? Do you buy things because they're on sale? Do you keep your emergency fund in a regular savings account earning 0.01% interest? If you answered yes to any of these, you're thinking about money like the bottom 99%, and that's exactly why you're struggling. Here's what most people don't understand. The wealthy don't just have money, they have completely different money habits. They don't think about spending, saving, or investing the same way you do. And these differences aren't small tweaks. They're fundamental mindset shifts that compound over time. The problem is, nobody teaches you this stuff. Schools don't teach it. Your parents probably didn't know it. So you end up copying the financial habits of people who are also struggling, wondering why you can't get ahead. But here's the good news. These habits can be learned. And once you understand them, everything changes. Habit number 1 that keeps you poor. You budget your expenses first, then save whatever's left over. Here's how most people handle their paycheck. Rent, groceries, car payment, utilities, entertainment, and if there's anything left, maybe they save it. This is called paying everyone else first. The wealthy do the exact opposite. They pay themselves first. Warren Buffett didn't become a billionaire by saving his leftover money. He automated his investments before he even saw his paycheck. The first thing that happens when money comes in is a predetermined amount goes straight to investments. Everything else, rent, food, entertainment, has to fit into what's left. This isn't just about the money you save. It's about rewiring your brain to prioritize your future self over your current desires. When you pay yourself first, you're forced to live on less, which makes you more creative about cutting expenses and finding ways to save more. Here's how to implement this. The moment you get paid, automatically transfer 20% to investments, 10% to savings, and live off of the remaining 70%. Don't negotiate with yourself. Don't make exceptions. Pay your future self like it's your most important bill, because it is. Most people think they can't afford to save 30% of their income. The wealthy know they can't afford not to. They understand that every dollar not invested today is a dollar that can't compound into wealth tomorrow. Habit number 2. Poor people buy things. Rich people buy time. Walk through any middle-class neighborhood and you'll see driveways full of stuff. Boats, RVs, motorcycles, expensive cars. These people have confused accumulating possessions with building wealth. The wealthy think differently. They ask, will this purchase give me more time or take time away from me? A poor person buys a fancy car to look successful. A wealthy person buys a reliable car that won't break down and waste their time with repairs. A poor person buys the biggest house they can afford. A wealthy person buys a house that's close to work to minimize commute time. But here's where it gets really interesting. The wealthy will spend money on things that seem expensive, but actually buy them time. They'll hire housekeepers, personal assistants, meal delivery services, and accountants. Poor people see these as luxuries. Rich people see them as investments in their most valuable asset, time. Think about it. If you make $50 an hour and you spend 3 hours every weekend cleaning your house, that's $150 worth of your time. If you can hire someone to clean for $100, you've just bought yourself 3 hours and saved $50. You can use those 3 hours to earn more money, spend time with family, or invest in skills that increase your earning potential. The mindset shift is this: stop buying things to impress people and start buying time to invest in yourself. Habit number 3. Poor people try to avoid risk. Rich people learn to manage risk. Most people think the wealthy are big risk takers, but that's completely wrong. The wealthy are actually more risk averse than poor people. They just understand risk better. Poor people take huge risks without realizing it. They put all their money in savings accounts that lose value to inflation. They rely on a single income source. They buy houses they can barely afford. They have no emergency funds. These are all massive risks, disguised as safe choices. The wealthy spread their risk across multiple income streams, multiple asset classes, and multiple time horizons. They understand that the biggest risk isn't losing money, it's not growing money fast enough to maintain purchasing power. Here's a perfect example. Most people think investing in the stock market is risky, but historically, the stock market has returned about 10% annually over long periods. Meanwhile, savings accounts return less than 1%. Over 30 years, $10,000 in the stock market becomes about $175,000. That same $10,000 in savings becomes $13,000, which is actually riskier. The wealthy also understand that the biggest risk is depending entirely on a job for income. That's why they build multiple income streams, investments, side businesses, real estate, royalties. If one stream dries up, they have others. The key insight: you can't eliminate risk, but you can manage it intelligently. Stop trying to avoid all risk and start learning how to take calculated risks that compound in your favor. Habit number 4. Poor people think in months and years. Rich people think in decades. This might be the most important difference. Poor people make financial decisions based on immediate needs and wants. Rich people make decisions based on where they want to be in 20 or 30 years. A poor person sees a $5 coffee and thinks it's only $5. A wealthy person sees that same $5 coffee and thinks that's $5 every day, which is $1,825 per year, which invested at 8% becomes $50,000 over 20 years. This isn't about being cheap, it's about understanding opportunity cost. Every dollar you spend today is a dollar that you can't compound into wealth tomorrow. The wealthy make short-term sacrifices for long-term gains. They'll drive older cars, live in smaller houses, and skip expensive vacations in their 20s and 30s so they can be financially free in their 40s and 50s. But here's what's really powerful. They also think long-term about income. Instead of just trying to get raises at their jobs, they invest in skills, relationships, and assets that will pay them for decades. A poor person learns just enough to do their current job. A wealthy person constantly invests in learning skills that will increase their earning potential for life. They understand that the best investment isn't in stocks or real estate, it's in themselves. The mindset shift. Start making decisions based on where you want to be in 20 years, not where you are today. Habit number 5. People work for money. Rich people make money work for them. Most people have this backwards. They think the goal is to earn more money by working more hours or getting better jobs. The wealthy understand that there are only 24 hours in a day, so trading time for money has a built-in ceiling. Instead, they focus on making their money work as hard as they do. Here's the difference. A poor person gets a $10,000 bonus and buys a car or goes on vacation. A wealthy person takes that same $10,000 and invests it. At 8% annual returns, that $10,000 becomes $20,000 in 9 years without them doing any additional work. But it goes deeper than just investing. The wealthy create systems that generate income without their direct involvement. They build businesses that run without them. They buy rental properties that generate monthly cash flow. They create intellectual property that pays royalties. The key insight is this: your goal shouldn't be to work harder, it should be to make your money work harder. This starts with understanding the difference between assets and liabilities. Assets put money into your pocket. Liabilities take money out of your pocket. Poor people accumulate liabilities and call them assets. Rich people focus obsessively on acquiring real assets. Your house isn't an asset if you live in it. It's a liability that costs you money every month. Rental property that generates positive cash flow is an asset. A car isn't an asset. It's a depreciating liability. Stocks that pay dividends are assets. Habit number 6. Poor people spend money to feel rich. Rich people save money to be rich. This is about the psychology of money. Poor people use spending as emotional therapy. They buy things to feel successful, to reward themselves, to cope with stress, or to keep up with others. The wealthy understand that feeling rich and being rich are completely different things. They're willing to feel poor in the short term by living below their means so they can actually be rich in the long term. Here's a perfect example. The average American has a car payment of $500 per month. Over 6 years, that's $36,000 plus interest. A wealthy person might buy a reliable used car for $15,000 cash and invest a $500 monthly payment difference. After 6 years, they have a paid-off car and about $45,000 in investments. The poor person has a newer car and no investments. The wealthy also understand that true wealth is invisible. The millionaire next door probably drives a Toyota and lives in a modest house. The person driving the BMW and living in the McMansion is probably drowning in debt. This habit requires a fundamental shift in how you define success. Instead of measuring success by what you can afford to buy, measure it by how much you can afford to invest. The wealthy get their emotional satisfaction from watching their net worth grow, not from impressing others with their purchases. Habit number 7. Poor people become experts at spending money efficiently. Rich people become experts at earning money effectively. Poor people spend enormous amounts of time and energy trying to save money on expenses. They clip coupons, hunt for sales, drive across town to save $5 on groceries. Meanwhile, they spend zero time learning how to increase their income. The wealthy flip this equation. They spend most of their time and energy figuring out how to earn more money, and they don't stress about small expenses. Here's why this matters. There's a limit to how much you can save, but there's no limit to how much you can earn. You can cut your expenses by 50% if you're really aggressive, but you can potentially increase your income by 500% or more by developing the right skills and opportunities. The wealthy invest heavily in education, skills development, networking, and personal branding. They understand that increasing their earning potential by $10,000 per year is worth more than saving $1,000 on expenses. This doesn't mean being wasteful with money. It means being strategic about where you focus your time and energy. Spend 80% of your financial energy on increasing income and 20% on optimizing expenses, not the other way around. The wealthy also understand that the highest paid people aren't necessarily the hardest workers. They're the people who create the most value. So they focus on developing skills that create disproportionate value in the marketplace. So how do you start implementing these habits today? First, automate your investments before you pay any other bills. Set up automatic transfers so you pay yourself first without having to think about it. Second, audit your purchases for the next week. Before buying anything, ask, is this buying me time or costing me time? Is this an asset or liability? Third, start thinking in decades. Before making any financial decision, ask, how will this affect my net worth in 20 years? Fourth, invest in yourself. Spend money on books, courses, and experiences that increase your earning potential. Remember, these aren't just money habits, they're wealth-building systems that compound over time. The sooner you start, the more dramatic your results will be. The difference between the wealthy and everyone else isn't luck, intelligence, or inheritance. It's habits. The wealthy have simply developed different ways of thinking about money that compound into extraordinary results over time. You now know the 7 habits that keep people poor and exactly how to flip them. The question is, will you keep doing what you've always done? Or will you start thinking about money like the 1%? If this opened your eyes to how money really works, smash that like button and subscribe for more wealth building strategies that actually work. Drop a comment and let me know which habit hit you the hardest. Thanks for watching, and remember, you're not broke because you don't earn enough. You're broke because you think about money like poor people do. Don't forget, this video isn't a financial advice, only educational content in order to see things clearer relatively to financial health.